In the bustling heart of Karachi, where the humid sea breeze mingled with the scent of street-side biryani and exhaust fumes, Ayesha and Hassan had built what everyone called the perfect life. They lived in a modest but well-kept apartment in Clifton, the kind with a balcony overlooking the Arabian Sea where they used to drink evening chai together. Ayesha was 32, a sharp-eyed freelance graphic designer who worked from home, her laptop screen glowing late into the night with client logos and wedding invitations. Hassan, 35, was a marketing executive at a growing telecom firm, always in crisp shalwar kameez or tailored suits, his phone buzzing with calls from clients and colleagues. They had been married for 11 years. Their love story was the kind aunties still gossiped about at family gatherings, a simple, arranged match that turned into passionate romance. Ayesha remembered the first time she saw Hassan at her cousin's wedding in Lahore, tall, with kind brown eyes, and a laugh that made the room feel lighter. He had quoted Ghalib to her over the phone during their courtship, and she had fallen hard. They had 2 children now. Little Zayn, 9, obsessed with cricket, and 6-year-old Zara, who drew pictures of their parents holding hands. Life was comfortable, routine. But lately, something had shifted. Ayesha noticed it first in the small things. Hassan's late nights at the office had become more frequent. "Big campaign deadline, John," he would say, kissing her forehead as he left at 7 in the morning and returned after 10 at night. His phone, once left casually on the dining table, now stayed tucked in his pocket. He smiled less at her jokes. When she asked about the attractive new account manager, Priya, who kept appearing in his work stories, he brushed it off with a tired wave. "She's just good at her job, Ayesha. Don't start with that again." But the doubts had taken a root. Ayesha's best friend, Saima, had gone through a painful divorce last year after discovering her husband's affair. "Men are weak when temptation comes knocking," Saima had warned over tea one afternoon, "especially successful ones. You need to know for sure, Ben, before it's too late." Ayesha had laughed it off then, but the seed was planted. She began scrolling through loyalty test videos on YouTube late at night, her heart pounding. What if Hassan was different? What if he wasn't? One rainy evening in March, after Hassan texted that he would be home late again for a team dinner, Ayesha made her decision. She would test him. Not with a private detective or a trap, but personally. She would become someone else. Zara, a confident, mysterious business consultant from Dubai who had just relocated to Karachi for a project. If Hassan resisted Zara's advances, their marriage was safe. If he didn't, she didn't want to think about that. The plan terrified her, but the fear of not knowing was worse. She confided only in Saima, who helped her shop in the crowded lanes of Tariq Road. A sleek black abaya that hugged her figure just enough, paired with a stylish hijab in deep maroon that framed her face differently. Colored contact lenses turned her warm brown eyes into striking hazel. A wig of long, wavy chestnut hair that fell past her shoulders. Makeup tutorials on her phone taught her how to contour her face into something bolder, more seductive. High heels she could barely walk in, a designer clutch, and a new perfume that smelled of oud and roses. She practiced her voice in the mirror, lower, sultrier, with a slight English accent from her time studying in London years ago. "Zara is bold, independent, and a little lonely," Saima coached. "She flirts but never pushes too hard at first. Make him chase." Hassan's company was hosting a 3-day marketing conference at the Pearl Continental Hotel in Karachi. Perfect. He had mentioned it casually, saying he would be busy networking. Ayesha booked a room at the same hotel under Zara's fake name using a prepaid card and a story about a last-minute business trip. The children were sent to her parents' house in Hyderabad for the weekend with a believable excuse, about a client deadline. Her heart raced as she packed a small suitcase on Friday morning. This was madness. This was love. The transformation. In the hotel bathroom that Friday evening, Ayesha stared at her reflection. The woman looking back was not the tired mother who cooked aloo gosht and helped with homework. Zara was glamorous, mysterious, successful. The abaya accentuated her curves. The heels made her legs look endless. She practiced her smile, confident, teasing. "Hi, I'm Zara, and you are?" she murmured to the mirror. Her voice didn't shake. She sent Hassan a quick text from her real phone. "Kids are fine at Ami's, working late on a design. Love you." He replied with a heart emoji and "miss you already." Guilt twisted in her stomach, but she pushed it down. Downstairs in the elegant lobby bar, the conference crowd mingled under soft lighting. Jazz played faintly. Ayesha, Zara, ordered a mocktail she didn't drink and scanned the room. There he was, Hassan, in a navy blue suit, laughing with a group of colleagues near the high tables. Priya was there too, her hand lightly on his arm as she spoke. Aisha's blood heated, but she forced herself to stay calm. This was the test. She waited until Hassan stepped away to the bar for a fresh drink. Then she moved. "Excuse me," Zara said, sliding onto the stool beside him with practiced grace. "Would you mind recommending something non-alcoholic? I'm new to town, and everything on the menu looks like it belongs in a chemistry lab." Hassan turned, and for a split second his eyes widened. He took her in, the hazel eyes, the confident posture, the subtle perfume. "Of course," he smiled politely. "The mango lassi here is excellent, or the virgin mojito if you want something fresher." They talked, easily, too easily. Zara told him she was a consultant helping startups with branding. "I've lived in Dubai for 5 years, but Karachi called me back. The energy here is unmatched." Hassan shared that he was in marketing, married, 2 kids. He mentioned Ayesha by name once. "My wife is a brilliant designer herself." And Zara felt a strange thrill mixed with pain. He didn't flirt back aggressively. He was warm, charming, the same Hassan she had fallen in love with. But when Zara laughed at his joke about bad client pitches and lightly touched his forearm, he didn't pull away immediately. "You have a beautiful laugh," he said softly. "Reminds me of someone." The first night ended with exchanged numbers. "For business advice," Hassan insisted. "My company might need a fresh branding eye." Zara smiled. "I'd love that." Back in her hotel room, Ayesha cried into her pillow. He had been polite, respectful, but that touch, that lingering smile, was it nothing or the beginning? The texts and the second encounter. Saturday morning brought the first text from Hassan's number. "Good morning, Zara. Enjoying the conference? If you have time later, there's a great cafe near the hotel with the best Karak chai." Zara replied, "I'd love that. 4 p.m.? They met at the cafe. Hassan arrived in casual jeans and a polo shirt, looking relaxed. They talked for 2 hours. About life in Karachi, the pressure of work, the difficulty of balancing family. Hassan opened up more than she expected. "My wife and we're solid, but sometimes the routine gets to you. Late nights, kids, bills, you know how it is." Zara leaned in, her hazel eyes locking on his. "Sometimes we all need someone who sees us as more than just the provider or the parent." Hassan's gaze flickered. He changed the subject quickly, asking about her life in Dubai. Zara spun tales of luxury apartments and high-profile clients, all lies she had rehearsed. When they parted, he hugged her lightly, professional, but his hand lingered on her back a second longer than necessary. This was nice, unexpected. Saturday evening, the texts continued. Innocent at first. "How was the rest of your day?" Then deeper. Zara sent a photo of herself at the hotel balcony at sunset, carefully cropped so no one could recognize the location. Karachi sunsets heal the soul. Hassan replied with a heart emoji and "beautiful." Aisha's stomach knotted every time her phone buzzed. She was lying to the man she loved, but she had to know. The deepening temptation. Sunday was the conference's final day, followed by a gala dinner. Zara dressed bolder, a deep emerald green abaya with delicate gold embroidery, her hijab styled elegantly. She made sure to bump into Hassan again near the event hall. This time, Priya was nowhere to be seen. They ended up at a quiet corner table during the networking hour. Conversation turned personal. Hassan admitted the stress was getting to him. "Ayesha is wonderful, but she's been so busy with the kids and her work. Sometimes I feel invisible." Zara reached across the table and covered his hand with hers. "You're not invisible to me." Hassan's gaze flickered. He changed the subject quickly, asking about her life in Dubai. Zara spun tales of luxury apartments and high-profile clients, all lies she had rehearsed. When they parted, he hugged her lightly, professional, but his hand lingered on her back a second longer than necessary. This was nice, unexpected. Saturday evening, the texts continued. Innocent at first. How was the rest of your day? Then deeper. Zara sent a photo of herself at the hotel balcony at sunset, carefully cropped so no one could recognize the location. Karachi's sunsets heal the soul. Hassan replied with a heart emoji and beautiful. Ayesha's stomach knotted every time her phone buzzed. She was lying to the man she loved, but she had to know. The deepening temptation. Sunday was the conference's